Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Coffee Break Harp. This time we're live like every last Friday of the month. For those of you who are here for the first time, my name is Zuzanna and I'm a harpist and harp teacher based in Edinburgh, Scotland, and this is my weekly free series of video harp tutorials called Coffee Break Harp. Let me know if you can hear me well, if you can see me. For those of you who are tuning in live, let me know where are you today. I'm always curious to hear where people are watching these episodes from, and we're going to get started. We're at the same time on Facebook and on Instagram. If there are any problems with connection, I think we will just have to patiently wait, or if you can, try using the other channels. So if Instagram is stopping, go to Facebook and vice versa. As always, you can watch a replay of that episode later on my website. You will find the link in the description on Facebook and in the bio on Instagram. So if for any reason your internet connection goes down or something, remember you can always watch it later. And let me check my notes because we've got quite a lot to talk about today. And today's topic is ways to adjust your practice when you're experiencing an injury. And I'm curious how many of you have suffered from some kind of injuries, aches or pains that affected your practice, and what did you do? What are you trying to do if you're experiencing this now? Let me know in the comments and we'll see if we can find a solution for you. As always, a piece of news before we get into the topic. As always, subscribers of my newsletter get a free PDF with extra materials, with lesson notes. So if you would like to get that PDF, make sure that you click in the link in the bio or in the description, leave your email, and then you will access not only this episode but also all previous episodes of Coffee Break Harp, episodes of live harp lessons from the last year, and everything that I share for subscribers. I think that's everything. I'm just checking things on my list, and in the meantime you can let me know if everything is working. I see that some of you are watching, but there are not that many comments. I also hope that the sound quality is okay. There are building works just across the road, and I'm very much hoping that they are not too disturbing on your side, but please let me know if there is anything I can do. Oh yeah, one more important thing. This whole month of June was focused on health and harp issues, so if you want to learn more about this topic, definitely do check out the previous videos. I put the whole list in the link, under the link on my website, so you'll find all the links there and in the PDF as well. Good morning, Lisa. I'm hoping that everything works well and that you can hear me. I'm glad that the comments are working. So if there's anyone else watching, please let me know where are you from and whether you had any problems with injuries on the harp. So let's dive into the topic. The first and most important thing is a disclaimer that I'm going to read out to you. This general information is not intended to diagnose any medical condition or to replace your healthcare professional. If you or any other person that you know has a medical concern, you should consult with your healthcare provider or seek other professional medical treatment. Just to clarify that I'm not a doctor, not a physio, I'm a harp teacher and I'm sharing with you my own experience. But if you experience any sort of pains or if you've got any concerns, you always need to talk to your GP first. Okay, so if there is any sort of pain or ache that you're feeling, that you're suffering, I would say that what you need is a complete rest. For example, if you've got pain in your wrist or in your arm, you should definitely not try to play despite that pain. You can only make things worse. So the no pain, no gain doesn't work on the harp. The best thing you can do is take complete rest. If you want some more ideas about the way to make your rest work really well for you, check out the video Coffee Break Harp number 6, where I was talking about constructive rest, where I was showing you a special lying down position which helps you release tension, become more aware of any possible tensions in your body. It's a really helpful thing whether you experience an injury or not. I recommend that to everyone. Next, consult a health professional, what I said earlier. In the UK, you can get help through the British Association of Performing Arts Medicine, BAPAM, and they get together doctors who are specialized in working with musicians and dancers and other performance. So I think if you are a working professional, if you earn part of your income from music, then you can get advice for free. Otherwise, you can still consult those professionals. They have a directory for all parts of the country, and you can get in touch with a physiotherapist, with a doctor, and then go and see them privately or covered through your insurance. So that's definitely one place you should check out if you're in the UK. I don't know about other countries. You can message me if you want to ask about some contacts in Poland, but I don't have any more experience. If there are people watching from other countries and you know about specialized advice for musicians in your country, by all means put that in the comments, because maybe that will be helpful for someone who is experiencing injury, music-related pain. So I'm just checking your comments. Hello from Greater Manchester, Linda, and hello, Dawn. That's really nice to see you all. Okay, let's carry on. Whatever injury you're experiencing, I think it's important to take good care of your whole body, and by that I mean getting enough sleep and drinking enough water, which I'm going to do now. I hope you have your drinks with you, especially on hot days. It's really important to get hydrated. I really notice the difference between where I'm able to get enough sleep at night and not. Sometimes if it's tension in my wrists or some not too serious pain, even getting a good night's sleep means that the next day it's completely gone and I don't have to do anything else. But if I've got a bit of a shorter night, it's still there the next day, and it definitely interferes with my practice. So definitely take care of the quality of your sleep. Make sure you drink plenty at all times, but especially when you're injured. I'm just checking your comments. I'm afraid that Instagram is being a bit naughty today, so if you're watching me on Instagram and it's not working, please go to Facebook or watch a replay later on my website. That's the first part gone. The rest is flying down. That's just what it sometimes is. But let's carry on. So now some practice ideas. What can you do when you're injured? And here I'm talking about the situations where, for example, you've broken your wrist and you're waiting for that wrist to heal, but you're perfectly fine to play with, say, your left hand. So what you can do is take whatever piece of music you're playing and try to practice both parts with the hand that is fine. And here I've got my small harp and I'll show you what I mean. You know the prelude in C major by Bach, where right hand gets all the patterns and left hand is playing the bass notes and then accompaniment. There is nothing preventing you from practice the same pattern with the left hand. And if that's too high, you can take it an octave lower. And then carry on. Learning something with the other hand in some almost magical way will transfer it later to the other hand, the hand which is now injured and then will eventually heal. The funny thing about the harp, the advantage of playing the harp is that our hands are working in exact same way. They are the fact that they are working from both sides means that identical fingering will work for both hands, and that means that you can play almost everything that your right hand is playing with the left hand and vice versa. So that's one trick that you can use to make sure that you're progressing despite an injury. Then another thing that you can do if you play a pedal harp, for example, is using that time to improve your feet actions. So practicing pedals on their own, pedals with the metronome. You can practice your feet movement while saying the names of the pedals out loud. That's a really good method. Following the score, and then whenever you see a pedal change, saying that out loud. And metronome I said already. You can do feet plus one hand if possible, or combining some of the above. Then The next very important thing that you can do, regardless of the type of harp you're playing, is mental practice. So practicing away from your instrument without physical movements. And I've done a whole video about that. You can find the link in the description of that live. And sorry. And there are many ways that you can use to do mental practice. The most typical one, I think, the first thing that people think about when they hear mental practice is thinking that what you're doing is visualizing the movement of your hands on the strings. So that's one way, but there are plenty of other ways, and this can include marking up your score, looking at the score, looking for patterns, copying the music, creating flashcards. I've talked about all that in that video, so I'm not going to repeat it now. Make sure you do check it out. And I'm just checking if there are any more comments. I'm wondering if anyone who is watching has experienced some kind of performance or playing related injury and what your experience was. Let me know if that was ever a problem for you, or if you're one of the lucky people who were able to get through their harp journey healthy all around, and congratulations if you're somebody like that. You might be interested to know what my story was. I've been sharing that in the video on Alexander technique, Coffee Break Harp 6, because I do have a history of injury. I'm not going to say all of that here today because we've got still quite a bit to go through, but if you're interested in learning more about what my journey was and what helped me, you can check out that previous episode. Okay, carry on, not that much more to go. So if you can't play at all, if the injury that you're experiencing means that you can't even do single-handed practice or anything like that, and you have to take complete rest, this does not mean that you should forget about the harp and forget about making music. There is a lot that you can do to keep in touch with the harp, with your learning, to make progress. And I've put some of the ideas in the PDF. That's a whole page of different resources. So one thing I would do, even if you're in perfectly good health now, is to start creating a playlist. I think the good idea is to start one on YouTube, maybe on Spotify as well. A playlist of tutorials, harp masterclass, live recordings, other types of recordings that you would like to watch, but for one reason or the other you haven't got time. There is plenty of those kind of resources online, and normally it would take a lot of time to watch all of them. But if you start putting together a playlist now, at the times like when you're experiencing an injury, that's something that you could do to keep in touch with the world of harp, with your own progress. And that's where you can perhaps find some inspiration about what would you like to do next. Listening as well, perhaps listening harp in different genres of music that you're used to. If you're playing mostly traditional music, you might want to listen to harp in jazz or pop covers. It might be that you will get inspiration through there as well. Reading is another thing that you can do. There are a few books that I think are really useful for everyone, not only the harpists. I'm recommending some books on Alexander technique and history of the harp in the PDF. And you can also use that time to improve your understanding of music theory. And it doesn't necessarily have to be reading something about music theory strictly about that, but it can be something around that which will be keeping your connection with the music. So in the PDF I'm recommending an app that I've discovered recently. It's called Steve Reich's Clapping Music. It's a free app for iPad and iPhone, where you don't even have music there, you just see dots appearing on the screen and then you have to clap. So if your injury allows you to clap, please do. If not, maybe you can find alternative ways like tapping or something like that to still enjoy getting those rhythms right. It's quite a cool one, and there's lots of different levels, so you can have a lot of fun with that. Alright, that's the end of my list. I think we've went through everything. I'm wondering if you have any questions. I can't see anything just yet, but sometimes things happen at the very last minute. I actually had a question that someone emailed me through my newsletter. Please remember that whenever there is a time difference, which means that you cannot watch these lessons live, you can still email me your questions before or put them in the comments. So someone was asking me about the pain that they were experiencing because of having a full-time job which involves lots of typing, and that's something I think that you need to consider when you're looking at a harp injury. What other activities do you do in your day-to-day life that can possibly affect your overall health? Because I think we shouldn't look at harp and our playing the harp in separation from everything else. So I think if you're in a job where you have to type and sit at the desk for 8 hours, and then you want to play the harp for 1.5 hours and experiencing still the pain, I think the most important thing is sorting out the main cause of the pain, which is the sitting position, possibly adjusting your desk, adjusting the keyboard and the mouse. I'm not an expert on that. It's Coffee Break Harp, not Coffee Break Harp Improve Your Office. So I think you would need to maybe talk to a physiotherapist who's specialized in working with office workers and will be able to give you some more advice on that. You can also talk to a physio who's specialized in working with musicians, because of course they will also be able to give you some more general advice on sitting or performing fine movements with your hand. So it's still a good call if you can find a specialist who is experienced working with performers, actors, dancers and so on, because then they can give you a picture that includes also the harp in there. But I would say if there's something else which increases your pain in the day-to-day life, you need to take care of that first and possibly make sure that the harp is not increasing the intensity of pain, and just making sure that you take care of everything you possibly can to feel better. Alright, I think that was everything that I wanted to share. I hope the building works outside were not too disturbing. Sorry for a delay in starting that Facebook Live today. I was intending to broadcast this from another room and then heard lots of noise and have to move to another one, which is why there was a bit of delay when I was moving all the equipment, notes and stuff. Thank you very much for tuning in today. I hope you found this episode useful. If you did, please let me know in the comments. Please recommend this series to your friends who play the harp or anyone else you think might be interested. And I'll be looking forward to seeing you here next week. Next week we will be on video as usual, but please remember I'm always here the moment the video premieres at 11 AM UK time. I'm here on the chat, and if you have any questions or comments you can chat with me live. Alright, have a very nice weekend, keep healthy, stay safe, take good care of yourself, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you here very soon. Bye!